quick presentation on your Google business profile. So this has been an initiative of ours, and in researching this and learning about this, it's been a big benefit for my business, Abbey Services. And also, I've seen where businesses tend to neglect this, and it's really important. So, I have the opinion that we all sort of rise and fall together. So hopefully, in helping everybody else have a better Google profile, we can all succeed. So here's some simple steps just to sort of get you started on the right path. Real quick intro. I am not a Google professional. I'm a nurse and a business owner. So just like a lot of you guys, I wear a lot of hats. As I said, I taught this to myself, and the deeper down the rabbit hole you go, the more complex it gets. So this is meant to be just an introduction, and I am jumping between slides and live video, and I prepared a PDF to share with everyone with links. So lots of ground to cover, but just bear with me if it's not super polished, right? So what we're going to do today is I'm going to review what I've learned along the way. We're going to have a discussion about others' experiences, and we can also discuss different components of a complete profile, how to optimize your profile, and also how reviews help your profile. So why should you pay attention to your Google business profile? And like I said, I came across some folks who, no offense, obviously didn't. Their profiles either aren't claimed, they have, I guess, inconsistent information, or they just aren't really kept up to date. So why should you? It's free, right? Everybody loves free. And if it's so powerful, why not do it? It really is easy. Once you initially set it up, it requires minimal attention. I know we're pulled in a lot of different directions, but in my mind, this is important. And it's effective. I can tell you personally that I have had a number of clients say that they chose our service based on our Google reviews. They were able to find us, they were able to see that we were legitimate, and they were able to see other people's opinions. Not just my opinion, I think I'm great. But they were able to see what other clients and other people thought. So obviously Google's a big deal, a lot bigger than any one of us. So it has some credibility, and it helps your business get found by customers, right? So your Google business profile should be just one part of your overall SEO strategy. But even if you're not a search engine optimization professional, you can do this, and you don't have to pay somebody else to do it. It's super simple. So part of the reason that you want to do this is to get listed in the local pack. And one of the first things I'm going to show you is why this is important, right? So the local pack is a way that Google displays businesses that have a Google business profile presence, right? So it relates to traditional SEO where it's important to have certain keywords and whatnot, but it has some very important differences, right? So here in a moment, I'm going to go ahead and show this to you, but I took the time to prepare the slide, so I'm going to talk about this slide. So most of us are not going to beat out the top organic search, right? So I'm going to show you how we can find a search and what happens. However, with an optimized Google business presence, I'll show you how you can sort of, I guess, fight against some of these larger presences. All right, so here's where I got to jump between slides and different things. Hopefully, I got to exit out of here. And we're going to go to this tab right here. And say I'm a consumer, and I'm in Fort Myers, and I'm searching for in-home care, right? Whoops. First, you have to spell it right. So in-home care. Common suggestion. Here's other variations, obviously. I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. And in-home care is a very competitive search topic. So if you are paying for sponsored searches, it's going to cost you money, right? So here, first, Google lists the paid searches, and surprisingly I don't see any, but a lot of times in-home care has a hyphen, right? So we're going to go ahead and do that and search for it. And as you see, well, shoot, yesterday there were sponsored ads that came up. Maybe it was because I'd already clicked on it, but the sponsored ads are going to show up first. That's Google's bread and butter. On mine, it lists this as an example because I'm logged in as myself and Google wants me to pay to have a sponsored ad. Currently, I don't have any sponsored ads running, right? So the sponsored ads are going to always show up first. Next, here's the Google Local Pack, right? So I try to do search engine optimization, but I'm not going to fight against Home Instead. Congratulations, Whitson's. You guys are pretty high up in organic rankings. Comfort Keepers. So there are places that have invested a lot of money, time, and effort in getting to the top of these organic rankings that sometimes you can work to get there. But here's the Google Local Pack, right? So the Local Pack it displays the top 3 in your area. So clients, wherever they're searching, are going to display the top 3. Now, Abby Services is showing up at the top. I'd love it if it did it every time, but it's showing up at the top because I'm at work. And this is one of the closest geographic places that fits in-home care. But there are ways that we're going to discuss that will increase your relevance further outside of immediately where your office is. So as you see, right next door to us is a service called Hands-On Home Care. And this is what you don't want. You don't want to have any reviews. You don't want to have any general information. As you see, all this information that's showing up here, we've populated, and we're going to go over how to do that. Now, the Local Pack is the top 3, but consumers can see more places if they choose to go beyond that, and they can see all the other places. Again, here's the sponsored listings that are showing up above everything else, but then here's Abby Services right up on the top. Hands-On Home Care showing up next because geographically they're close to us. Comfort Keepers is showing up below that because they're not near us, but they have a strong presence, and that's what you want. You want a strong presence. So real quick, in the PDF that I've developed, I'm going to go over how to complete your Google Business listing. You want it to be as complete as possible. So yes, you could put just the basic details, but you want a client to see products with branding. You want to have questions and answers. You want to have reviews. You want to have pictures that are branded. So let's dive into it. So if you haven't claimed your profile or even created a profile, that's the first thing you need to do. In the PDF, I have information on how to do that. This is where you manage your profile. So once you have a profile set up, you can manage it. I'm logged in as myself, so that's what I'm doing. Edit your business information. Now, this information is also relevant when you're initially creating a profile because this is what you need to do. So you start with your about information, right? Your business name comes first. Abby Services In-Home Care. Now, I know that some people are probably biting their lips. Scott, why'd you say in-home care? I get it. Most people that are seeking a private caregiver don't search for nurse registries, so I put in-home care in there, and I hope that it gets me some business and gets me found. Next, business category. Again, Google doesn't care if we're a nurse registry or what. They care what the consumer's looking for, and these are defaulted. Home health care service is what most people are seeking. If there's something that someone finds that's a better category, go ahead. There's senior care services. You can list additional categories. This is the most logical one that I have found. That's the way I have it set up. Description. I'm going to go into this in a little more detail. You want to have a description, and this is the optimization aspect of it. You want to have some keywords. We are a local business. We're focusing on Fort Myers and Cape Coral. That is the heart of our service area. So I have it there. So if somebody types in home care Fort Myers, hopefully we come up closer to the top of their list. So I have in-home caregivers, and I just have a description. Also, it's important to note that having the same description across multiple platforms helps with your business relevance in Google's eyes. So you may want to consider what your description is and consistently use that when you're promoting your business, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's Yelp, which is terrible in my mind, or whatever. Opening date, you know what? I don't know if this is just for people or for Google, but it lends some credibility to how long you've been in business, right? We didn't hang our shingle just yesterday. Phone number. I'm going to cover this on the PDF, but basically your name, address, and phone number are way more important than a lot of people realize. You want to have consistent name, address, and phone number. So when you refer to yourself, you want to refer to yourself as the same thing. So if you look across different profiles, on our Facebook profile, we have Abby Services In-Home Care. I believe it's listed that way on our website, even though we do go deeper and explain what we provide and that it's not in-home care, but caregiver referrals. So name, address, and phone number. Again, you want to have the same phone number. Do not use a 1-800 number. You may have that, you may want clients to use it, but you want to show locally that this is where you're serving, and one way to do that is to have your area code. You want to make sure that you have your website listed and make sure that the landing page is where you want people to go. Now, this is something that just came up yesterday, adding different social profiles. I'm trying to figure out what link to use to get our YouTube and Facebook and a bunch of different social profiles linked with this. As you can see, there's a bunch of different options. We don't have a Pinterest profile. LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, we do have. We even have a TikTok channel, but we don't really keep it up. But again, adding all these different things certainly can't hurt, and I think that it can help. Let's see here. Websites, social profiles, that's where we were. Short name, Abby Services. I think it can have spaces, so that's why I have it listed there. These are extra information. The COVID-19 one obviously popped up not too long ago to let people know how to access your business if you were mask only or virtual only. We didn't complete that. You want to make sure you have an accurate location, because again, where your location is geographically, more people in this area are going to see where you're located, or are going to see your business when they search for you. You can go in and define your service area. I just tweaked this the other day. We had Lee County, which is the county that we're licensed to service, Fort Myers and Cape Coral, but I also added McGregor. McGregor's not a specific town, but a specific area in Fort Myers. That's where I live, and that's where a lot of our clients are. So I added these, I guess, just to increase our visibility. Business hours. Business hours are important. Again, you want this consistent across your website, different places, because it lets Google know that you're legit. I can tell you this. I know that ACA in the state of Florida has certain business hours required. We are on call 24/7, and I have seen businesses list that they're available 24/7. My interpretation and my understanding that this is a little bit disingenuous. Google wants to know when somebody can come to your physical location, and they will verify this. They verify it by typically calling. So, I guess use that how you want. This is how I have mine listed. Also, if people find inaccurate information, they can report listings. So say a caregiver shows up at your office because you had it listed as available 24/7 on Saturday, because that's when they were available, and you were closed, they can report that listing. And if Google sees that those listings are inconsistent and not helpful, you can get penalized for that, and your listing shows up lower than other people. Special hours, basically you add different holidays, whatever holidays you want. You can add different hours if you want. Again, the whole goal is to make this more relevant. From the business, my sister is my co-owner, so we've identified as women-owned, and then you can add different things. Again, if somebody's specifically searching for that, it may help. Accessibility, our office is just a place to be. So you can add these different things. Honestly, the relevance in my mind is a little bit less and less. As you can see, we went down through the tabs here, and once you've filled all that information in, you have a pretty basic Google business listing. But one of the ways that you can optimize it is by adding photos. So you want to add branded photos. That's a whole other subject as far as, well, how do you get these photos put together and how do you make them look nice? You want to add outside pictures so that if people are coming to look for your business, they can see what it looks like. You want to just go down through and make sure if there's somewhere that you can add information, as long as it's relevant, that you add it. So one of those things is products. And again, if someone's searching for in-home care, maybe we'll pop up, but what about in-home memory care, or short and long-term care, or personal caregivers, or any number of things? This is sort of nice because you can add as many products as you want. So we have long-term care insurance, hospitalization and rehab, home hospice. They ask for a price range, and I've put that in there, but that varies, and sometimes I have to go in and adjust that because clients, get confused or say, well, why isn't it $22? Questions and answers. Really, this is a place for consumers to go and ask questions, and then they can go and see the questions. Is your office open 24 hours a day? Hi, no, we're open 8 to 4. Do you refer in-home caregivers below 4 hours? We explain that. You can ask your own questions. So if there are questions that are coming up all the time, you can ask those questions and then answer them so that people can see that. In my experience, not many people look at this, but again, it's part of your optimization. It shows that your business is responsive to consumers who have questions. So you can populate that, and if people go and ask questions, you can also, respond to those questions, right? Send to your phone. So this is a way, if you have your phone number listed and somebody's trying to share their information with a friend, you can send it to their phone. I don't really use that all that much. It shows reviews from other sources. So Facebook, you want to plug reviews on multiple platforms. I think Google's one of the best. However, and we'll get into this, if people don't have a Google profile, they can't leave a Google review. So we give them the option to use Facebook. If they don't have Facebook, they can use Nextdoor. Again, here's a listing of your reviews and then just more information. One thing I didn't mention is there are photos that you can add, and you can also add updates. And updates are important because that's one way to show Google that your business is active. So you can see that I posted this just 2 days ago. Whenever a consumer writes a review, I create a nice graphic and promote the review. So this has been promoted on Facebook, on Google, but you can go back through and see your updates that you've listed, and you can go ahead and be creative. Again, these are things that you can try to use search optimization. So, in-home care, hospice care, if you wrote a blog post, put it up there. There are, caveats that Google makes you follow. So make sure that you pay attention to that because sometimes they won't post certain information that you list there. So I've been talking fast because we have a lot of ground to cover. The next part that I wanted to address is getting Google reviews. Getting good Google reviews are like the holy grail, right? And this is something that we've worked hard for. We have 71 Google reviews. It may not seem like much, but it's something that I'm proud of, and you can sort of wait for people to come to you and write reviews, or you can go out and actively solicit reviews. And of course, when a customer goes, almost like Amazon, right? If you're looking for a pair of, tennis shoes, and you see something that has 2 stars, you don't want to buy it. Or if you see something that has a ton of reviews and they're all positive, that typically indicates that it might be a pretty good product. So again, one thing you're not supposed to do that I've done, I wrote this review. I gave myself 5 stars. Google knows, doesn't care that I am Abby Services, right? So I wrote 5 stars. That's not against the terms of service, but if I put, I am an employee of Abby Services, I'm the owner, you're not supposed to have employees writing reviews. So I've seen some folks that caregivers will say, oh, this is a great place to work and blah, blah, blah. If they put that review can get taken down. And I have seen, I've had more reviews, and Google doesn't tell you they're taking a review down. They just take it down. And one thing that I recently experienced is sometimes a consumer will write a review and they will see that review, but you won't see it. And just recently at the PCA conference, I realized this because I wrote a Google review for every PCA member. And I guess it got caught up in the Google filters. And on my end, it shows that I wrote the review. I can see the review. However, on your business's end, it doesn't display, and it's because Google identified those reviews as fraudulent. And you want to avoid that because you can potentially get penalized for these fraudulent practices, actions, whatever you want to call it. So this person just wrote a review just the other day. Great experience. Scott set us up with in-home care. He was friendly and professional. You want to make sure you respond, right? That's key. But also, again, optimization. When you respond, I typically mention our key service areas. I mention in-home care because that's what I want to be found when people search reviews. So, lowest, right? Everybody likes the great reviews, but you're going to get bad reviews, right? This person right here, these people are crooks. They will rip you off. I can assure you that's not the case. However, I went ahead and immediately responded to that review because we need consumers to see that we were responsive. And sometimes it's difficult. This person called us asking for a rate. We provided a rate, and they thought the hourly rate was for the total visit, which is crazy. Maybe I could have been a little more delicate in my response, but I responded to it. This person right here just gave us a 1-star review. This is a caregiver that was a little bit upset with the fact that their client did not want to work with them. So I responded to that. But beyond that, that's the reviews. Now, the question is, how do you get reviews? And right here, you see a button, Get More Reviews. So when you click this, it gives you a link. And that's the link that you're going to want to copy and share with customers. And whether or not you do that in an email, whether or not you have it on your Facebook page, share it however. The way that we approach reviews is anytime a customer is happy, our office staff is trained to ask for a review. And then we send them a tailored email that does a few things. I've included the template for my review on the PDF, my review request. However, I can go to it here. Hopefully I'm not, okay, Florida Skin Camp. So for my review, and you know what, I'll just go to this. So for my review, here's the full text version of it. As you may know, I just basically explain why I'm asking. I include information on reviews. I have a link to my website here. This is probably the biggest component. Leave a Google review. When they click that, that's the link that I just showed you how to generate. Facebook is a little bit more confusing, but a lot of folks use Facebook, so I like to try and include a link there. And Yelp, for whatever reason, is still recognized as one of the larger players. I don't know, so I include that there. I can tell you that maybe one person has used that before. Now, sometimes people just don't know what to say, right? Or they think, oh, okay, well, I'll just leave one review. I'm like, hey, leave 3 or as many reviews as you want. But I like to tell people, hey, you can just leave a 5-star review. It helps us. So if you want to help us, you don't have to say anything. Just leave that review. However, maybe you want to say what worked out really well with your caregiver. Maybe you want to say why you chose Abby Services. A lot of folks say Scott is helpful, right? Not to toot my own horn, but that's what I want to do. You don't have to say anything. And then there was an article online about writing good reviews, so I included that there. Now, another step further that I've gone is instead of sending someone a full text wall of words, people don't like that, right? So I use an email software where this is generated and it sends it to people. You can't just send this because the graphics are tricky, and what you have to do is have it adaptable to mobile display, desktop display, so this changes based on how the person views it. This is a lot prettier, right? It's got your information, they know who it's from, it's got a nice little graphic there that's branded, says online reviews, and basically it's what I have in the full text version, but it's a lot easier to view. Now, how to leave a review. Basically, I have the links here as buttons. The reason Google's broken up is because it shifts based on the size of the screen. So if you were viewing this on a cell phone, instead of making it super small, it does this. It is what it is. I have the not sure what to say, and that's it. So it's been, I guess, a consistent approach for us, but we are at the top of our market in reviews, and I think that that's positive and powerful, and I hope that you guys can take this information and I guess use it to generate better presences online through Google Local Business, to generate more reviews, to share with people how well you're doing. In here, just so you know, the PDF that I've included, it has a lot of just extra information, right? This is one of the, I guess SEMrush is pretty big for search engine optimization. It's what I use to sort of as a guideline to sort of develop this presentation. Also, just some links to Google policies or how to go about doing different things, claiming your profile, an explanation of what Google Local Pack is. But checklists, right? If you're new to this and you don't have your listing complete, just follow these steps. I guarantee you it's not going to take that long. And share your successes. Let us know how you did. Comment on Facebook for the PCA group. ask for reviews from members of your family even. You're not supposed to do that. But, if they don't say, hey, I'm Scott's cousin, I love Abby Services, it should be fine. But those of reviews may get taken down. I hope this helps. Thanks, guys. One other area that I forgot to point out, once you've set up your Google business profile, this comes up when you're logged in as, I guess, the administrator for the profile, and you can add different administrators. I did Abby Services in-home care. We came up. This doesn't display to everyone. It's when you're logged in as yourself, comes up to you. Your business on Google. So at a glance, it tells you how many customer interactions there have been. This used to be available by an app. I don't know. This is fine, not great. It tells you the number of calls placed through the website, the number of messages. I had a customer message us just recently. Bookings, we don't use that. People asking for directions, people clicking on your website, right? So you can do a lot from here. It's similar to what we went through. Edit profile takes you to what I had covered before as far as setting up. Reading reviews takes you to your reviews. But beyond that, messages. So once you have this set up, you can have it so that customers can message you through Google. And it's another way for people to reach you, but it's also another way to show Google, hey, you know what? We responded to this person right when they messaged us. So they contacted us talking about their mom. I got their email address. I responded to them, and that was convenient for them. Pardon the phone ringing. That's not a bad thing. Just another place to add photos. Another place to view your website's performance, which we had just sort of accessed from the top setting there. Advertise. If you do want to run AdWords, this takes you to an AdWords account. Again, that's a whole other ball game. We're not going to get into that. Insurance. This is a new thing, but it limits. It's not for long-term care insurance. So really, for us, unless you accept Medicaid or other specific insurances, you don't want anything there because you can go through it and see what insurances to add to your profile. However, if you accept, say, AARP Medicare Advantage, you can include that, and if people are searching for providers that accept that, you're going to come up. Products right here, I realized we didn't go into the different products. These are what I have added. You can add products. As I said, you can have as many products as you want, so that's great. Edit services. So you can, I guess this is tied into the products. I set this up a long time ago, so I can't recall, but let's say in-home caregivers. We have it from rate to rate. Are you seeking in-home private care, whether you have an elderly family member? It's sort of set it and forget it. I did this a while ago. We don't utilize online bookings. As far as calls go, this is where you can set up where your calls are directed to. It tells you how they were answered. But these are calls that are triggered through Google. So if somebody views your phone number and clicks on this and decides to call you, that's how that works. And honestly, it's a little bit more intuitive if you're using a mobile device because you search something, which a lot of folks do. They decide to call you from there. That's how that works. Again, at the bottom, this is still settings for your business, confirming your holiday hours, turning views into customers, creating an offer. So it just tries to get you to use more of the Google products. Q&A, we covered this. Those are where customers can ask questions and you respond to them. Updates and asking for reviews. Again, we've sort of hit all this, just different ways to access it. Whew. Okay, I know that was a lot of information. We're going to open this up to questions. Thanks for paying attention.